Hi everyone and welcome back to Humbly Homemade. This is our second episode. Today we are going to make elderberry syrup. Now elderberry syrup I've been using for several years. I started off buying it from the stores or the pharmacies, but I started noticing that while it worked and it was preventing some of the illnesses from getting worse, it was getting expensive. It was more syrup than actual elderberry, I want to say. So I found a recipe that I could make it at home. It's cheaper and it makes a lot more than I was buying at the store. And it's really, really simple. So I have elderberries, dried elderberries I got off of Amazon. I have a ginger root that we're gonna be grating. And then I have a cinnamon stick. Typically I use ground cinnamon, but this is all I have, so we're gonna make it work. And then some water. Last we're going to use is about a cup of honey just to sweeten it up. Now elderberry is an antioxidant. It's kind of like a blueberry, but it's really good for fighting off the flu, fighting off viruses. Then the ginger I like to use is also an anti-inflammatory and it helps with pain. So all of these are natural ingredients that typically are found in medicines that we buy from the store. I wanted to start making my own because I wanted to know what I'm giving my kids. You know, if they're getting sick, I want to know that I'm giving them the best that I can without any extra ingredients that don't need to be there. So with this, I know what's going in there. It's all natural and it stays on the shelf for probably about 2 months. So if you're ready, let's get to it. All right, so I've got 3.5 cups of water on the stove, about medium heat. I'm gonna take 2/3 cup of dried elderberries and just dump them in there. If there's a little extra, that's okay. And then I'm gonna take my grater and I'm gonna grate, it's probably about 1.5 inches of ginger, and we're just gonna grate it straight on in. And again, you can give or take with the amount of ginger. It is a antimicrobial, so it helps with the, don't cut yourself on the grater. It helps with the immune system as well. All right, so I'm gonna keep grating this. It's gonna be a little bit, so we'll make this go a little fast. All right, so now that I'm done grating the ginger, I'm gonna take my cinnamon stick and I'm gonna grate some of it in. It's going to take a while to do this, so I'm probably just going to give up halfway and put the rest of the stick in. All right, I'm going to give up for now, put the rest of the stick in. There we go. All right, so we have our elderberries, we have our water, we have our ginger and cinnamon. We're going to bring this up to a boil, and once it starts boiling, we're going to put it on low and simmer for about 45 minutes. All right, so we've got our elderberry mixture at a slow boil. We're gonna turn down the heat to low and just let it simmer for 45 minutes covered. All right, so it's been 45 minutes. The mixture has been simmering. If you take the lid off, it's gonna smell like elderberries. Depends if you like it or not. I enjoy it. I have a bowl and strainer set up. I'm using a cheesecloth this time just because of the ground cinnamon that I had. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour it into our bowl, a secondary bowl, to get all the juices. Be careful because it's gonna be very, very hot. There's the celery stick. All right, so we're gonna try to get all the elderberries and all the remnants and squeeze out all the juices, because the more juices we have, the longer it lasts. It's kind of like tea. The more you let it steep, the stronger it is. Hot, it's very hot. All right, so once you strain off your elderberries, it calls for a cup of honey. I kind of play it by ear depending on how strong the elderberry syrup is at that point. My kids like more honey, obviously, so it calls for about a cup, but it's all about how sweet you really want it. And I'm gonna pretty much use the rest of this jar. Don't tell the kids. Right. So we're gonna whisk that in until the honey is completely dissolved. And then we'll set it to the side to let it cool. Once it's cool, you can put it into a jar, a container, whatever you want to hold it in. I have this large mason jar with a spout lid. It works a lot better than me pouring it from a jar. I've made a mess lots of times. And typically I just give them about 2 teaspoons of elderberry syrup a day. The more consistent you are, the more potent it will be for their bodies to ward off all those nastinesses. Is that a word? Nastiness, okay. But yeah, once it cools, I keep it in the fridge, and every day, myself, the kids, we all take 2 teaspoons of the elderberry syrup. I have like a little shot glass that measures it, but you can kind of use a spoon, use a dropper, whatever you want to use. So hopefully you would like this. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you next time. Take care.